Good morning. I'm going to do something just a little bit different today. As you may or may not know, I belong to Toastmasters, and one of the things I have to do occasionally is give a speech. Well, the last couple of speeches have had something to do with gardening, and I have a speech tomorrow that has to do with gardening. And so I thought I need the practice before I give my speech at my club. So I'm going to practice on you guys. Here's a little bit about how this works. My speech is timed. I have 5 to 7 minutes to give the speech. I'm going to read to you the introduction that the Toastmaster of the day will be reading before I get up and do my speech. It goes like this. Darlene's last speech implored us to eat microgreens and grow your own food. Today she will tell us about the health benefits of one particular herb, her least favorite herb. Darlene is slowly working on her second path, and her goal over the next few months is to have both paths working on the same projects so she can coordinate the projects to increase her learning experiences. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Darlene Marquardt with, I'm not fond of it, but I'll eat it. I'll explain what those paths are before I get started on the speech. We have projects, manuals, that we work our way through, and they're called paths, and I'm working on 2 of them at the same time. And the second path I'm not as far along in as I am in the first one, so my goal is to kind of get caught up to myself. We don't compete with each other, we just compete with ourselves. While I'm giving my speech, I'm going to have this timer so you can see it, and that will let myself and the people listening to me know how far along. I have 30 seconds before my 5 minutes and 30 seconds after my 7 minutes that I'm okay to still be talking. But anything less than or more than 4 minutes and 30 seconds or 7 minutes and 30 seconds, I'm disqualified, which means that I still get credit for my speech, but if I were competing with other people, which I'm not, that I would be disqualified. That's all that means. So let's put this where we can see it. Maybe. And then we'll get started. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Cilantro is one of those herbs that you either love or hate. In fact, 14% of us don't like it. I don't like it. Those 14% think it tastes like soap. And we're not being picky eaters. It's in our genetic makeup. It's in our genetic makeup that deters us from finding it tasty. But you know what? I will eat cilantro anyway because there are a lot of health benefits. There are too many health benefits to ignore. Here are some of them. Number 1. It helps remove harmful heavy metals from your body. Things like lead and other harmful metals. Consuming the cilantro helps to cleanse your body. You can use cilantro as part of a detox. Number 2, it supports heart health. And that's important, especially for those of us with diabetes. Having our heart be healthy is extremely important. Number 3, when I mentioned I have diabetes, it helps to balance blood sugar levels. So if I eat some cilantro regularly, and there are many ways to do that, it will help me to control my blood sugar levels, which I currently do pretty well, both with what I eat and with the medications the doctor gives me. But I would like sometime to not have to take as many of the medications, and consuming cilantro and other beneficial herbs and vegetables will help me to do that. Number 4, it may ease anxiety. A lot of people are anxious when they get up to give a speech. I'm not especially that anxious, but there are things that do make me quite anxious. There have been studies that say, and these studies were with mice, they say that the consuming cilantro is just as effective as some anxiety medications like diazepam. So that's pretty impressive. Number 5, consuming cilantro could prevent food poisoning. So if you eat some cilantro with your meal, you are much, much, much less likely to have food poisoning from any food that was not particularly fixed correctly. Number 6. Number 6, it protects your brain. And this is an important one too. There are many, many antioxidants in cilantro that help you to have a healthy brain. And number 7, it supports vision because it has lots of vitamin A. Some of you may know the term coriander. Cilantro and coriander are basically the same thing. It's called, here in America, it's called cilantro when it's in plant form. When it goes to seed and you harvest the seeds, you can use those seeds in cooking and make powders out of them and everything. Those are called corianders. In some parts of the world, it's just called coriander. In other parts of the world, it has the 2 titles, like we in America have for it. Cilantro, or coriander, is native to Mediterranean areas and Asia Minor, like Turkey. And it can be grown as a perennial or an annual, depending on the climate that you're living in. It likes well-drained, fertile soil and warm climate. It can grow 9 to 15 inches tall. Has little white flowers when it goes to bloom, and as I said before, the yellowish-brown seeds that are a common spice. It also, when it's not in flower, has green leaves that look very, very much like parsley. They taste nothing like parsley. I love parsley. Cilantro, not so much. The 2 plants are not related, even though they look very similar. Cilantro is also very low in calories and has no cholesterol. It has a very high amount of antioxidants and essential oils in it, vitamins and dietary fiber. It helps reduce your cholesterol, your LDL, your bad cholesterol. It's a good source of minerals like potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, and manganese. Here's some percentages that might interest you of your recommended daily allowance. It has 15% folate, 11% B6, 45% C, 225% A, 258% K, 22% iron, and 18% manganese. You know what? I may not like cilantro, but I'll eat it because I know it's good for me. Thank you for listening to me tell you today about cilantro.